I'm really excited to bring you our first guest of the day. Julia, welcome. Julia is Director of Conservation Optimism, and we're going to hear all about that in a minute. Julia, where are you ringing in from? Where have you come from in the UK?
Hello, nice to be here with you today. I'm calling from Oxford, so yeah, that's where we're mainly based.
Great, fantastic. Now, before we hear about what you're doing in Oxford and about conservation, we've been, on social media this morning, looking through the Twitter, and we saw something very interesting on Twitter that we wanted to show you. I'm going to see if our tech guys can get this up on the screen. We saw this very exciting announcement on Twitter this morning that you have been named a EE 30 under 30 by, and this is the North American Association of Environmental Education. Congratulations, this is very exciting. Did you just find out about this morning?
Well, I found out a few weeks ago, but it was all embargoed until the official announcement today. So yes, it's very exciting.
Wow, congratulations. And what have you done with the North American Association? Are they involved in conservation optimism?
So they hadn't been so far, but so this award is something that you can be nominated or self-nominate yourself for. And basically what happens is now we have a cohort of 30 people from all around the globe who are working on environmental education. And we are going to have like training around leadership, around inclusion, lots of different topics. So that's going to be a very interesting thing that's happening next week.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations. And I'm sure this will get our audience very interested to hear more. Now we're not meeting for the first time, obviously, and lots of our delegates will, have met you before in some of your work or met you at one of our Communicate conferences. Before we went live, we were talking about, the power of people coming together at Communicate and how we hope to do that again soon. But for anyone who hasn't come across conservation optimism, tell us what it's all about.
Yes, so Conservation Optimism at this stage is a program of the University of Oxford, and we aim to empower everyone to act for nature. And so the idea behind this is that we're trying to reframe the narrative. I'm sure everyone here is aware that very often is very doom and gloom when it comes to conservation and the climate and all of that. So we're really trying to highlight stories of successes, what people are doing around the globe, but also learning from failures and seeing, what we can take out of it. So we do a lot of work around outreach. We have a film festival, we have a podcast. So quite a lot of different things that are included as part of Conservation Optimism.
And how can members of the Communicate community get involved with the movement? What are the touch points or the ways that they can support what you're doing?
So I think one way that a lot of people are supporting us is by using our hashtag, which seems really easy. But if you have a story of conservation success, then that helps us pick it up. And you can end up in every Monday, we have a blog of 7 stories of optimism coming out. So you might be featured in that. And then that helps, create, again, that reframing of the narrative. We also have a film festival coming in Oxford at the end of October. It'll be virtual as well. So if you want to attend that, you can keep an eye out. And we're always looking for new volunteers as well to help with various aspects of conservation optimism. So again, if you have special talent in social media and you'd like to be involved, you can just reach out to us. We're always looking for people. And I mean, I'm sure like most of us here as well, we have a donate button on the website. So if you have the means, that's also another way that you can support us.
Now, Communicate, we have mostly a UK audience. We kind of program and market to UK audience. But conservation optimism is broader than the UK, isn't it? Could you tell us a bit about the international work and maybe the hubs?
Yes. So at this stage, we have a few different hubs. So of course, we have a UK hub, but we also have a very active India hub. And so the India hub has been really taking this message of conservation optimism and adapted it to the local context. And so you can also find them on social media. So if you look for Conservation Optimism India on Instagram, they're doing lots of great campaigns. They're talking about mental health. They're doing amazing work. And we're also about to announce a new hub soon that should come out next week, actually, which is in Pakistan as well. So we have seen more hubs coming in, and that's really exciting to see these grassroots movements happening in different countries.
Yeah, that is very exciting. Now, you, I know, have just come back from Marseille as well. Can you tell us a bit about, what you were doing there and how it went?
Yes. So that was my first time personally attending the IUCN World Congress. So that by itself was quite thrilling. And I was there to give a session as part of the Youth Oasis, the IUCN Nature for All Oasis, on storytelling. And it was great to see lots of young people coming specifically to this pavilion to hear about our positive communication toolkit, to hear about how to frame your message in a more optimistic way. So that was great to be there, and also seeing the world leaders and the president and the ministers talking about what they're planning and how we can all make a difference. That was definitely quite an inspiring event.
And what kind of other things did you hear about? Just can you pick out one of the sessions that you attended in Marseille that kind of is memorable?
Yeah, I think one session that was quite memorable in a way was so we had the youth congress that happened before the official opening of the congress on the Friday, and there Her Royal Highness Princess Laurentien of the Netherlands was there, and she was giving the ending remarks, and she kind of called out the room because there were lots of empty seats, unfortunately, on that session. And she said, I don't know if I need to talk to you young people who are here to the empty seats, because where are the world leaders? Why are you having a youth summit separated from the rest? And she really called young people to kind of break out of the traditional mold and stop following what politicians are expecting of us. And that was really interesting in a way. She was saying, you need to encourage people who can really break that mold and are disruptors, because we can't keep doing things the same way. And that was quite that was quite striking. Her speech was really, really good.
Absolutely. We're getting a little bit of skipping in here. I know you're having some trouble with Zoom. I don't know if that's happening for our audience at home, but we'll keep going. If you disappear on us, don't worry. I know that you're part of the conference. You've been here for a couple of days. People can find you, send you a direct message, and hear more about conservation optimism. Tell us about one of the sessions that you enjoyed at Communicate yesterday. What did you have a chance to see?
So yesterday, a bit of the session that was about diversity and inclusion, which was really interesting. I'll definitely have to watch the recording of that to catch up on what I missed. And I also really enjoyed the plenary at the end of the day. I know there was this kind of like quadrant with different types of organization, and that was something that I hadn't come across before, so I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good time for me to remind our audience. Lots of people are always asking me about the films. Are we going to be sharing the films? And it's just a good opportunity for me to remind everyone we'll be taking all those recordings, sharing them back with our speakers, and getting permission. So we'd love to get those out as soon as we can, but we are reliant on our very busy speakers to have the chance to review the recordings, and we will send them back out. Now, if you've been with me in the studio and met some of our special guests, you'll know that I've been asking them all 2 specific questions. So 2 questions for you, Julia. The first being, can you tell me about, a project, maybe an optimism project or a conservation project, something that's really inspired you in the recent times that you can tell us about?
Yes, so actually, and that links very nicely with COP. So there is this organization, and it's a youth-led organization called Force of Nature. And they do a lot of work around eco-anxiety and, the feelings of young people when it comes to the climate topic. And they are having a really, really exciting campaign. I can't say too much because it's still being prepared. But if you're in Glasgow and attending COP, just make sure that you check out Force of Nature, because they're going to have this really interesting communication-based campaign around eco-anxiety. And from what they've shared with me, I'm really excited to see it coming together.
Great, fantastic. Well, we'll make sure we put some of those links in the chat. Obviously, eco-anxiety, big topic. We saw this big report coming out yesterday with a number of researchers and a VAS looking at climate anxiety, particularly in that 16 to 25 range. Our opening panel touched on that. We're so excited. We've got the lead researcher on that project, Caroline Hickman, doing a eco-anxiety workshop today. Only 30 places in that workshop. If you wanted to sign up for that workshop and were not able to get a space, please put something in the chat. If there is interest, we will speak to Caroline and organize some more workshops in the coming weeks. So if you wanted to go to the eco-anxiety workshop and you couldn't, please let us know. University of Bath or one of the partners of the Natural History Consortium. I'm sure Caroline needs a bit of a rest after a very busy week launching that international report, but we will speak to her and we will organize some more workshops. Julia, I've been asking all of our speakers this, our headline speakers, our studio guests, so a big question for you. can you give us a provocation or a challenge? We've got, you know, one more day of Communicate left, and then it's back to the day job tomorrow. What's your provocation to delegates?
Well, I think it's really linked to what I mentioned before with the IUCN World Congress and that speech from Princess Laurentian of the Netherlands. It's really this idea of how can we disrupt the kind of messaging around conservation? How can we be creative in a way that doesn't necessarily fit the system that we've been using so far? And I don't have solutions for that, so I think it's a call for people out there. If anyone has any idea how we can be really creative with our communication and kind of break that traditional mold, I'd be really interested to hear.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much to you, Julia from Conservation Optimism. Use the hashtag, find out more on the website, listen to the podcast, which is absolutely brilliant. Congratulations on your award. Thank you for joining us, and stick around today. Do get in touch with Julia.